Miss Holman, can you tell me a little bit about your teaching experience in Hughes and during times of segregation?
Yes, Miss Connie. Teaching in Hughes was wonderful for me because I needed a job, and we had plenty of children. I imagine it was over 1,200 children on Mildred Jackson campuses, all black children. And in the first grade, we didn't have kindergarten then. We had just started with the first grade. And it was always four sections, and all of us had over 50 children, high as 60 and on up to 70 sometime, and in each grade. And the parents were so cooperative, and the children were very smart and obedient, and we worked with those children. And Miss Pearl Anthony was our elementary principal, and she just demanded that you do what you needed to do, and she corrected those children. They respected her. She could just walk to the door, and if someone was doing something they shouldn't, they quit doing it. And we worked with those children, and they learned. We would have school closing programs all through the year coming up to holidays. Um, and we sang the uh, My Country Tears of Thee and Ballahima Republic. And we would say the pledge, and we would also say a little prayer, but we wouldn't discuss the prayer. And parents was just so cooperative, and children was obedient, and you just could get on them and spank them if you needed to, but they certainly didn't want Miss Pearl Anthony to spank them, and they obeyed. And it was real wonderful. It was wonderful years. We had school closing programs. We had assembly programs. Parents would come out to our programs. We had one of the best cooks in the cafeteria, uh, and we would enjoy that food. Uh, and it was just wonderful. And then as the years went by, our school buses was packed with children from all around on these plantations, and we didn't have any uh, incidents of fighting and fussing, and as far as the community was concerned, and children, parents could teachers could spank the children, and you didn't get all this yakety yak from parents. And then as the years went on, uh, finally there was a freedom of choice. Some of the black children could choose to go to over to the original white school, and some of the white children could choose to come to Mary Jackson. And then eventually, the elementary uh, children, it was more elementary children came to Mary Jackson, and at gradually each year more blacks would go over to Hughes High. But it worked out fine. We I can't remember us having any uh, major problems. You know how people were, and all the cooks on each campus was black, and food was good, and uh, it seemed it was more to me. It was more cooperation than it was not cooperating with one another, and our children learned, and there were some things that happened down through the years. Some of the teachers, as the years went by, were coming out from Memphis and West Memphis and all around Pine Bluff, and they would stay a year and some leave, and some of them would stay longer. And then finally, we had some white teachers to come down to Mary Jackson, and some black teachers would move over on the high school campus. And one day, some of the teachers went to the bank to cash their checks, and they had friends white friends. They were riding together. And when one of the black teachers cashed her check was one thing, and the white teacher's check was another thing. And then this young white teacher questioned that. And that's when we found out that they were paying the white teachers one salary and then paying the black teachers another salary. And then that's how a lawsuit was filed. And then some of the teachers got together, and Mr. Banks taking the project on, and it worked out fine. We got paid back, and they put it in the paper of what was happening. And then eventually we finally just closed down the Mildred Jackson School, and everybody was over on the Hughes high school campus, elementary. My first year over there was I worked in the reading lab with Miss Rita Brown as 4th, 5th, and 6th grade reading lab. And then finally the next year, Mr. Stoball called me in. He said, "Well, Bussy, we got to go another step. You got to take a 1st grade class." And I said, "Okay." I guess at first they didn't trust me. Didn't think I could do the job. But anyway, I got a 1st grade class, and what they call low class white children is what I got. And those children performed for me, and they were doing so well. The secretary would come by, and I kept my room intact. They'd be peeping, looking to see what I had did. And finally, I will never forget Miss Virginia Geddes. She had a daughter, and she was one of the teachers. And she put her child in my room, and I feel like she did it to, because she had observed me teaching, and I feel like she did it to make the whites feel comfortable that Miss Holmon can teach. And those children did wonderful. And we had to do, each teacher had to do an assembly program. And for my program, we had 2 little plays. And the white teachers, all that children did was sing, did some little songs. And those children that was in my room, little sisters and brothers that was in the 5th and 4th grade and 6th grade, they came back behind the stage when the program was over and said, "Miss Holman, yours was the best. Yours was the best." And now, as the years went on, and then I had no problem with whites putting their children in my room because they found out I could teach. And they all were just very, very nice, very courteous and kind. And when I see them in the streets, and I didn't even know them, but they knew me. "Hey, Miss Holman, how are you? My child said you did so and so and so." I said, "Well, we worked in there." And I remember one of my students, Larry Couples. He was a little white boy that had a little problem, but I worked with him just as hard as I worked with others, and he pulled out of it. And then another little boy was Kenny Poole. He was very smart, but he was just acting. When he came in the door, the floors was hardwood. He would slide all the way from that door back to that next door, and then just get so tickled. But he was very smart. And now, as he grew older or got grown, he and his sister, I also taught his sister Margaret Poole. So that let you know if you do well, we did well with one, well, parents was eager to put their other child in. And now that they are grown and out in the world, they still, whenever I see them, Margaret Poole takes me out to dinner and pay for it. And Connie Havener said, when I go up to the Ford place, now they're grown. And she talked real loud. She said, "Miss Holman was not only our 1st grade teacher, she didn't only teach us ABCs. She taught us how to love people. And everybody at the Ford place, so nice. I don't have no problem getting no car since my husband died. Connie stands out for it. And we just had a wonderful time. And then as the years went by, it got better and better. We had basketball, and our children played basketball and went right along with the whites. And they were outstandingly won games on top of games. And everything just, then they started having what they had at the end of school, proms together, and sometimes they had them here in Hughes, and sometimes they would go to West Memphis. And you just have to learn to ignore and be intelligent and go on, and it works itself out. Sometimes we think things that shouldn't be, but they are learning that people are just people. Human beings are just human beings.